Hey, Kim.
Hey Bob, how are you? Can you hear me, Bob? Can you hear me, Bob? I thought I muted myself. Can you hear me, Bob, or Mike? Can you hear me? I tested it.
Kim, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Kim.
Oh, good. Okay. Thanks, Mike. Yep, Bob, we can hear you. Yes.
Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Hey, ladies.
I can hear you now, Kim.
Go ahead. I was going to tell her that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes.
So anything I need to worry about?
purpose of reporting on attendance, I need to let you know that last week we had 18 people in person and 18 people on Zoom. So, Dan, Donovan, and Willie was today in our invitation and touch.
Good afternoon, everybody. This week is something that we do.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. It's wonderful to look out and see that we have several guests today. And so if you have guests, please come to the podium and introduce them for us.
My guests today are several. Bobby Schoenwell's been with us. Dr. Ken Hayes, who's a professor at the United States, please take the camera. And this Kim Insurance is with us. Everybody, Jane is with us. And I believe is with us.
Thank you, Linda. And our other guests to be introduced today. Okay. We are ready to recognize our birthdays and anniversaries, and Kim will recognize those with birthdays.
Okay, August birthdays, August 5th is Max Buck. August 14th, Jim Hedden. August 15th, Jackie Goodman. August 20th, Sarah Rosenblum. 21st, Greg Brown. 27th, Mary Dooley. 29th, Doug Beal. All right. And the 30th is Royal Young. And on August 7th, Dean Elder will be turning 90 years old. So Conrad wanted me to point that out, that he's important. And also, I'll make sure I send his address to everybody so we can maybe do a car shower for him.
So I'm going to invite you now to take a very brief trip down memory lane with me for a moment. I would like you to think about where you were in 1980. What do you remember about 1980? Can you make that person remember?
Nope. I could try. Let me try something else. I can give it a try.
Thank you.
Well, and it's not sharing for the people on Zoom, so yeah, I'm not gonna be able to do it and share. So.
So in 1980, Michael Jackson and Banana were doing their thing. And primetime soap operas like Dallas, debuted, and had spin-offs, Knots Landing, and Following Crest. And I was, Fred Randy was unopposed. My voice was one of the two full-days from the Hazard. Well, those were popular television shows at the time. And Rubik's Cube was taken over and licensed to be sold. Big hair and jelly shoes and the preppy look and parachute pants with a fashion statement. Ronald Reagan defeated Jimmy Carter, who was the leader that year. And Conrad Desjardins joined the Marshall Time Movement. And it seems to me that we need to recognize these milestone anniversaries of Rotary membership. So Conrad, today we recognize you for 40 years of membership. And I invite, let's give him a round of applause. Now, in addition to this recognition, I will be delivering to you a box that looks like this, and it has the Rotary insignia on it. And inside are pieces of chocolate that have the mold of the Rotary insignia. So it's a big piece. And a little card that says, congratulations, you completed another year of membership in the Marshalltown Rotary Club, and we celebrate your continued involvement. Thanks for putting the motto, service of self into action. So,
further down.
He is participating with us today on Zoom. I'm disappointed that none of our other anniversary people were going to be here first, so we'll just celebrate in absentia. But they include Paul Barr, who has reached the 38th year milestone. Doug Burbidge, 37 years. Kevin Schwartz, 27 years. Bruce Barron, 15, and he's on Zoom today. And this is Lynn Overby's 1-year anniversary of membership. So again, let's give all of these folks a round of applause. So we're glad to have all those folks here. Okay. I have several announcements to make. First of all, I want to give a special thanks to she's right. And she continues to fill out. So we thank Christine for being here. I also noticed, wondered if you were enjoying the salad like I was. I wanted to give a thanks to Rick Anderson and Aaron Burger, who are our meal liaisons with the management here at Elmer Countries. And they did meet with and among the things that they talked about was providing an optional entree so that people could choose either salad, like chef salad, maybe similar to what we had today, or the entree that's served on a regular table. So if you want to keep that in mind, if you're a person who would like to have salad, we need to go with that ahead of time, because it will come in when we have the name of the salad. So we'll try that and see how successful that is. I know that they encourage people to continue to experiment with the different menus for our group, so keep the information. I also wanted to remind you that we have an opportunity to purchase Rotary face masks that say "People in Action," and we need to get that order in by tomorrow. So today or early tomorrow, please let Kim know if you would like to be included in that order. I think it could be fun and help us spread the word. And finally, we do have an opportunity to participate with Habitat for Humanity next week, a week from tomorrow, And if you are willing to do that, please let it's a great opportunity for us to get them and demonstrate what we can do. So that concludes my announcements. Anybody else has any announcements? Okay, happy news. If we have some happy news, again, we ask you to come to the podium. So
I don't know why it's not.
and happy news is open to people who are participating by Zoom as well. Yeah, anybody have anything?
I don't know what.
The mic, we're having problems with the
While they work on that, we reflect on the happy news. Tell us about that. And we'll put on the invite. Who's that? Introduce us.
I'm gonna wait just a second.
Here it is, here.
Our Zoom people can't hear. Can you hold that?
Sure.
Okay, give it a try now, Mary.
Okay,
We gotta pull up. Okay.
one more time. If you're on Zoom and you can hear us, please raise your hand.
Okay, Bruce. Can hear
One
us.
person. Well, we're really glad you can hear us.
Bruce gave a thumbs up.
There were two people. Hooray! We're thinking it's working. Oh, somebody gave us a thumbs up, so that's a good sign.
Now I just gotta find my tape.
Well, Doug, why don't you come up and be ready?
Oh, you're fine. You can go ahead.
Oh, we're ready?
Yeah.
I was waiting for the thumbs up. Good afternoon. I'm here to introduce our speaker today. And it's my real pleasure to introduce a local person who many people probably don't know anything about. And you might have seen his name in the paper a couple times, but he's in an interesting profession. And I just thought it'd be a kind of a neat topic for our group, maybe a little outside the box for this group sometimes. I know there's at least one guy in the room that's really interested. But it's my pleasure to introduce Rick Glenn. Rick is a professional mixed martial arts fighter. He's a Marshalltown native, graduated from Marshalltown High School in 2007. Rick began his mixed martial arts career 14 years ago and has been training in mixed martial arts for the past 17 years. He currently competes for the UFC, which is the Ultimate Fighting Championship. And I'm told this is really considered the leading mixed martial arts promotional company in the entire world. Rick was at one time ranked as the 14th featherweight in the world. He's a World Series of Fighting featherweight champion, a mixed cage championship featherweight champion, and a two-time Midwest grappling champion. And along with competing, Rick has coached and trained other mixed martial arts competitors. And I believe what he told me is his hope is when he retires from actual competition to come back to Marshalltown and establish a training center here in Marshalltown. And he's got a real passion, I think, for troubled youth and at-risk youth. So, and then in his spare time, I'm told he does some carpentry, he does some carpet cleaning. He, you know, the guy's busy. And I'd just like everybody to welcome Rick Glenn.
Hello. Thanks for the invite, guys. Cool to be here. Know a few of you guys, Bobby, Tom, Dr. Ken Hayes. So yeah, I'm a Marshalltown native. And I go by Ricky or Rick, but my fight name is the Gladiator. I got that from my uncle because I'm pretty cool, calm, but when I get in there, I go after the kill. You know, it's a violent sport, but the martial arts side of it has taught me a lot and changed the perspective on my life. The traditional martial arts side. And yeah, when I am finished fighting, I do plan on opening a mixed martial arts academy and focus primarily on jiu-jitsu, which is a form of wrestling and a traditional martial arts that teaches respect and discipline, and it's not as violent as punching someone in the face. So that's one of my goals. It has been since I started. But originally, I did start boxing at the Coliseum with Kenny Buffington, and it kind of started dwindling out, and then they eventually closed the doors, and that's when I got into mixed martial arts, cage fighting. And so if some of you guys don't know what MMA is, it's kind of a mix of boxing, kickboxing, wrestling, the submission holds, and ways to win. You either win by points and controlling your opponent, or a submission, which they tap out or, yell in pain, or TKO, which, they can't defend themselves, or a knockout. And I've had quite a few of different ones. I've had 45 total fights, mostly pro. Some of my credentials, I was a former world champion for promotion. And I fought in Canada three times for a promotion where I was working my way up the ranks. I was a top prospect for about 5 years. So my wife Jenny and I, we actually met at here in town, high school sweethearts, and we'll be married 12 years on the 16th. And I do have some good news, happy news. We were expecting a baby in February. Super excited about that. And then, so about, 2011, we left Marshalltown and went to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, to an elite level MMA gym, one of the top ones in the world, Rufus Sport. And they had world champions and some of the elite guys there and good world-class trainers. So 2011, we lived there for 6 years. I worked myself up the ranks, made friends with good, elite level athletes and good people, and helped them win and defend their world titles. And then actually just moved to Sacramento, California for 2 years, and at another elite level gym. And then about a year ago, just over a year ago, Jenny and I moved back to Marshalltown. And something, we've always wanted to come back home. Got a good family here, and my hopes and goals for after fighting is to help the community and have my own academy, but also have an at-risk youth program, or a program for at-risk youth. But I want, I guess, more of the community involved in it. And I do have plans to train jiu-jitsu and martial arts with the police academy, or officers in the police academy. And I'd like to have free memberships for any officers that want to train and learn. There were a few officers that couldn't make it today, but I I do have, Vern Jefferson. I don't know if any of you guys know him, but him and I had trained years ago originally, and he was, and still is a really good mixed martial artist, and he knows the need that the community has, or we have a need for help with the youth. There's a big group of youth that are kind of misguided, and I can attest to that because I was brought up in kind of a broken home with criminals and drug addicts, and so I know how much martial arts has helped me, and I'd like to share that with other people. So yeah, the big thing is changed in my life is my perspective and giving me a clear path on goals and what I want to do in life. And the thing with this at-risk youth program that I'd like is to get help from other members in the community. I can, I'm very, very blessed and happy that I was able to meet Dr. Ken Hayes and get guidance from him and some of my goals. I knew what I wanted to do, but I just didn't have direction or the blueprint to really kickstart me in the direction I wanted to go. So yeah, I'm very, very blessed for you, Ken. Appreciate you. I guess, yeah, I kind of touched the base on a lot of things I wanted to tell you guys. And, I rarely talk about myself, so this is a little different. Yeah, if you guys want to see what I do, here's a little highlight. It's kind of old. It's like maybe a little over 7 years old. And you don't have to play the whole thing if you don't want. It does get a little violent. So. Yeah, it might be kind of loud.
What age groups are you looking at as far as trying to help? Because I'm a former police officer, and I know that there are some age groups, once you get past a certain age, sometimes it's a little bit too late to try to reach them, and everything they're pretty much set in their goal life and such. So what age groups are you really looking at?
Yeah, thanks for asking that question. It'd be 14 and up. I wouldn't want to. I've taught kids classes. It's just a little tougher with grappling and showing martial arts technique with children younger than 14. So, I started at 14, and I was training with adults, and I think 14 and up would be appropriate.
So you're going to be a completely different dojo from what I'm understanding. You're not going to be something that says, "Hey, we're going to start from the babies and all the way up." And so you're there to basically focus on some of their emotional needs and some of their outlets that they needed, instead of being outlet of drugs and gangs and stuff, being outlet of being in here to set goals and create more.
Yeah, correct. And that's a big thing. I won an academy and a gym, and that was kind of always my goal from the get-go. But I don't want to promote fighting. What I do, is kind of counterintuitive, but I don't want to promote what I do in fighting in the violent side of this. I want to promote, traditional martial arts, which is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and submission grappling. And they train in, a gi form, which is kind of like a taekwondo uniform, or no gi, which you have like a spandex shorts. It's just a more respectable form of martial arts, not as violent.
And are you wanting that here in Marshalltown, or is there a particular area that you're looking to?
Yeah, I'd like it here in Marshalltown, and we currently don't have anything like that. It's been quite a while since I trained here in town, and when it was in a friend's basement or in a garage, and then I had to travel to Des Moines or Cedar Rapids. The closest towns that do have jiu-jitsu gyms or grappling gyms are Ames, Des Moines. I trained in Johnson, so I have a little bit of a drive. Cedar Rapids, and those are the closest.
Will you be doing it in crowd workout kind of stuff as well?
Yeah, I'm open to that. I've trained a little bit, and that would be really good, especially for the police officers with the weapons.
That and the crowd.
Oh yeah, yep. Yeah, I think a big thing too for officers that haven't trained martial arts or wrestling, I know they go through the academy and their training, but then after that, I've talked to plenty of officers that can contest to this. There's not as much hand-to-hand combat training that they do. So just doing that more often, at least a couple times a week would be huge. Just being more comfortable, someone grabbing at you or coming at you, you're going to be a lot calmer. And all the training I've done over the years, I'm almost a little, numb to when someone gets aggressive or if they grab at me, I'm just like automatic. I don't get worked up or freak out as much in those tense situations.
All right.
You guys ready?
Representing Rufus Sport, he stands 6 feet tall, weighing at 145.6 pounds, Rick the Gladiator Glenn.
This was one of my before every fight, I'm pretty nervous. Here's another big fight. I was working my way up the ranks for the World Series of Fighting. My wife and I signed on a house the night before we flew out for that match, and we weren't sure if we were going to get the house, and we were kind of back and forth. And this was a big moment in my life here, and so I really was kind of dependent on that paycheck.
Was that a knockout?
Yeah, I did knock that guy out. He was undefeated Brazilian world champion grappler. Pretty good guy. Here's a fight back in Des Moines. Another one. Yeah, this one was kind of weird. The guy, he wouldn't get up, or he's just kind of, laying there, and I kept hitting him. And there's been a few times where I'm fighting and I hit the guy and they're not really defending themselves. And I've looked at the ref in a few of my fights, kind of like, what the heck? Stop the fight. I think he eventually stopped it here.
Is any kind of punch legal?
What's that?
Any kind of punch or kick?
Yeah, you can't. So in MMA, you can't poke the eyes, you can't fish hook or punch in the back of the head or the spine, and you can't do any groin shots. Groin shots.
Oh, okay.
So other than that, yeah, you elbow, hammer fist, kick in the head, and they have different rules for amateurs. So, I guess a little safer with amateurs.
So can a guy give up? It looks like that one guy should give up.
Yeah, some can, and we're kind of our own worst enemies. When you get in there, you don't want to give up, and sometimes you do a little more than you should. And
could I just interrupt to say that if you have a question, would you either repeat the question or
sure.
would you come up and ask in the podium, microphone, just so everybody can hear?
Yep.
Thank you. Sorry.
Yes, well, I repeat that. So his question was, are there any illegal strikes in MMA? And yeah, there is. Groin strikes, the eye pokes or fish hooks or anything on the spine is illegal.
What's a fish
when you hook the inside someone's mouth and pull on their gums. It's kind of like a dirty.
Is there headbutting?
Oh, there is no headbutting. Yep, I missed out on that one. Another illegal strike is the headbutts. They used to do headbutts in Japan at a different promotion.
So you won most of your fights. How do you handle the few that you've lost? How do you mentally handle when you lose?
So the fights that I've lost, how do I handle those?
You lost a few.
Yeah, just a few. I had 6, or I lost 7. They're all a little different. The ones that are close, are a little tougher because, someone that doesn't compete in the sport is usually the person judging it. I think there's a handful of judges. So I've had fights that are really close, and those are tough. And then, if you have the more you have riding on the fight, there's been fights where I've lost, and it was that fight that would have got me into the top 10. So it's like, kind of bummed out, and I know, okay, losing this is going to set me back 2 years. And usually in a match, I'll prepare for 3 or more months just for one match, which is 3 5-minute rounds or 5 5-minute rounds is championships. And the past, it's been about 4 years. Primarily my income has come from MMA fighting. So when you have, 3 fights a year or sometimes less too. So if you have, a third or half of your income combined coming in on this match, it's a big deal.
So tell us about your crazy maniac weight loss technique. Your crazy maniac weight loss technique.
Oh, my crazy maniac weight loss technique. So the weight cut stuff is actually the hardest part of fighting. Making weight. I'm actually going up a weight class. My last match, I missed by 2 pounds. I told myself if I ever miss weight, I got to go up a weight class. So I've been competing at 145 for 12 years or so. So I'm going to move up to 155, and I should be able to perform a lot better. But my toughest weight cut is actually when I won a world title, and I lost 30 pounds in 9 days. And usually the elite, top 10, top 20 or whatever, you're cutting average 20 pounds in a week, the week of. So, and weigh-ins are on Fridays, and usually the match is the next day. So you get 24 hours to kind of replenish. Still pretty tough on your body. But yeah, I'll do water loading. So I'll drink 2 gallons of water for 3 days, cut it down a quarter gallon, and I cut out my sodium. And I actually 3 meals and two snacks a day, and then the last day I don't need anything. Kind of monitor my water. But I got to be to the point to where I wrote everything down and documented everything over the years, and I knew where I was going to be within kind of a point for waking up and going to bed with what I ate and the water I drank and the training I did. So I was kind of I guess a little different amongst different people when it came to my performance and weight cut stuff, because I was so precise with that.
I'm sorry for asking so many
Oh,
questions.
that's good.
I'm a foster parent as well, so I just love children, and I love knowing that there's outlets for them. There's so many things that kids get themselves in trouble with, and such, and peer pressure is huge. When you're taking care of children, when you're wanting to get in there and trying to really instruct them, trying to inform them and everything, are you going to be going into schools and trying to open that door for some of those at-risks, maybe the school counselors and stuff, kind of saying, hey, these kids might need something, and be able to start opening up the doors to bringing some of those kiddos in? How many kids are you going to be taking in in these training courses and such, so you can start really, I guess, getting the buzzword out for all the school districts,
Okay.
and perhaps the principals or even the school counselors saying, hey, these groups of kids or these kids would be awesome for this program kind of thing, and create it into a huge, I call it an academy, but it's going to be generating something huge for our community. Because as you know, Marshalltown really is behind have something that they can be proud of and that they have some awesome goals to attain.
Yeah.
You repeat that?
Yeah. So going into schools and reaching out and, is there a limit on the number of kids and students that we can bring into a program like I'm interested in creating? And I think the sky's the limit with that. There's a lot of other stuff, you don't have to have a huge facility to kind of, to teach martial arts and principles of it. We can do stuff outside right now. And I think just even the fitness aspect of it and being around positive grown-ups, maybe that have been through what they've been through, and can kind of shed light on their life and give them a new perspective on life will be a huge help to these kids. And knowing the truth of the story, truth of my life and my story, I was abused and, physically, mentally on a daily basis as a child, and grew up around a lot of drugs and, a lot of craziness. So this, what I do, as I've grown up, I've realized like, oh yeah, this is like a controlled violent thing. That's what I'm used to. So it's, kind of normal for me. Fighting is it's not the worst thing I've ever done. It's not the craziest thing I've ever came across. So it's really like a walk in the park. The training, and obviously I enjoy it. That's, a truth to my story. Yeah.
What about future competition? You're not retired from competition, so what do you have on the horizon?
Well, I was planning on fighting next month, but I banged my knee up. I was overtraining a little bit and slipped, and it popped. I thought it'd be healed by now, but I think it'll be healed in a month. So hopefully October I'll fight. And then future after that, I plan on retiring when I'm 35, so I have about 3.5 years. So I'm pretty close to being done with competition, MMA fighting. I might compete in jiu-jitsu, grappling competitions. I've always been into fitness stuff and being active.
Given the environment you grew up in, and you're in a sport with a lot of big personalities and attitudes, one thing I've always respected about you is your humility. How have you been able to maintain the spirit of humility and the sport that you participate in?
So how have I maintained my humility? Well, what I do is very humbling. So the grappling, definitely the jiu-jitsu and the grappling, the submission grappling that I've been talking about is one of the most humbling things that you can do. It's kind of like, doing swimming lessons if you've never swum before. And when you get the hang of it, you get confidence. But definitely the most humbling thing you've ever done, and humbling for people, with big egos. And I've grappled and trained with guys that are, 3 times my size, super strong, jacked up, and been able to kind of do whatever in their perspective on things. It's like, whoa, really change, and they want to learn. And that's been very humbling for me. Questions?
What's the venue you'll fight in next time?
It'll probably be in Las Vegas. So with all the Corona stuff going on right now, the UFC's been doing their events in Vegas with no audience, and then they actually test them throughout the week. When they get there, throughout the week, before weigh-ins, and then before they fight, and they have an island in Abu Dhabi, so they call it Fight Island. They've been doing shows there, and they've been doing shows every week for the past 2 months or so. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much, Rick. I I feel very aware of the support in this room for you, and I hope you also feel that. So thank you for speaking to us today and letting other people like me that don't know much about it know more about what you do. So we wish you the best, and we hope you'll keep us informed. One thing that I would like you to know is that we have a tradition here of contributing to Rotary International's international project, one of them, which is to eradicate polio in the world. And we're down to 3 countries right now, and we have the practice of making a contribution from our club in the name of each speaker who comes here. And so we will be making a contribution to that effort in your name. So we want you to know that. Okay, next week, Dr. Theron Schutte will be our guest speaker, and he's going to talk about back to school plans in Marshalltown, another great program. You then, please rise and join me in reciting the 4-way test. Of the things we think, say, or do, first, is it the truth? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? And fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned? We are adjourned.
Mic test, mic test. I don't know.
I would like,
Oh, yes.
will you order me one?
Sure, one.
Yeah, that'd be good. Thank you.
Mary or Kim, can you hear me?
Yes, we can, Bob.
Could somebody make sure they get a picture of Rick before he leaves?
Okay. Oh, Mary got one.
Okay, great, thanks.
I don't know.
It did do that to me yesterday when the speaker shut off also. The mic, and it just so for most part, we're just testing our mic now, Bob.
Okay, I was just, because it was awfully difficult to hear Mary. Rick came across pretty well, but Mary's audio was pretty distorted.
Darn it, Mary. No, we know. Yeah, we know. It switched mics on us. It went to the computer, so we had to switch it back.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm glad people.
Can you hear us
know.
okay now, Bob?
Yeah, that's loud and clear.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. We'll just have to keep an eye on it.
Yep.
As soon as we get it figured out.
Thank you for your
a wrench
feedback.
gets thrown.
Video was wonderful. The film came across nice. Quality was good. I'm talking now when the film came up, his MMA film, that was good.
That was good. Okay.
Quality was good. Sound was good. Well,
Yeah.
the sound was coming elsewhere, I guess, but
okay.
It's good.
Alrighty. All right. Well, the good thing is people let me know right away. They sent me a note, you know, so we were able to address it. But
So I was going to tell you, I'm thinking I must be really old because all of the sound was too soft for me. And I was sitting right there. Like I could not hear him.
well, people don't talk into the
No,
mic.
they don't.
And
Same
so
with-
it's hard
with
to correct
Bellingham.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's quiet. You're right.
Yeah.
He is
So
quiet.
I'm like, okay, what is
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I know. And it's just like,
And even the
it's
movie,
even
it
the
was
questions.
too
You
calm.
tell people go tell a question and they don't, so I don't know how to correct that.
So do you want me to end
Oh
this?
yeah, you can go ahead.
And the same
We're
with
going
the
to turn
movie.
off the meeting, Bob.
Thank you, Bob. See you later.
So anyway, I just thought if it's a matter of just turning up a volume.